Back home on the Lal Street, the market recovered in the last hour of trade. The Nifty ended 80 points off its lows to reclaim the 10,950 mark, while the Sensex recovered more than 240 points to end flat with just a tad bit of negative bias. Amongst the broader markets, Bank mirrored the benchmark indices to end flat. The Nifty mid-cap was the only major index to end above the flat line. So a bit of outperformance coming in from the mid-cap space yesterday, and a bit of outperformance actually coming in from India when compared to its peers. Mangalam, can the momentum continue today?
Absolutely. That's the big question. Can the momentum continue today? There's no reason to believe not. But, tell you what, there is a lot of fear on the streets. And we are not ending the year on a good note, if you must. Dow Jones, Nasdaq, S&P 500, lowest since October 2017, September 2017, respectively. And not just that, the fear, which is CBOE VIX, which is the gauge of the fear index, is the highest since Feb 2018 itself. So it did cross the 30 mark. That was the India VIX that we're talking about, which is lower actually. The Asian markets not doing too well. The European markets also not doing too well. We spoke about them being underperformers. They're losing about 1.8% for the French index. The Asian markets haven't opened too well. But if there was any time which was more perfect than singing Sare Jahan Se Acha, it couldn't be more than this, because this month itself the Nifty 0.7% higher. We'll take that with both hands, given the Nikkei is down 9.5%, Dow Jones, FTSE, all of them lower by about 4 to 9%. These are not just the developed markets I'm talking about. Take a look at the emerging markets as well. The Hang Seng down about 3.5%, Brazilian index down about 4.5% as well. The Sensex still holding up in the green. Why is that India is outperforming? Well, there are a lot of factors. Of course, we'll have to keep an eye out on what actually took place. But exports, they account for approximately 12% of our GDP. The world is worried about economic slowdown in the world. We're relatively insulated to that. Most important point, crude has declined, rupee has strengthened. So that is improving our macros. The third thing is improving or expected improvement in liquidity post RBI's OMO announcement. So like Lata said, that could be valuation positive for mid caps and small caps, and bond positive, which is indirectly positive for all the financials. Expected pickup in economic activity ahead of the general elections. That is also another factor that the street is playing out for. And most importantly, we're very close to the third quarter earnings season. That is expected to improve due to festive season, and fourth quarter earnings season would be better because of the decline in crude prices. We may see some margin improvement. As far as cues for today and next week are concerned, Anisha, it's anyone's call. Why is that? Because it's holiday. So the FIs would be like, hey, we're on a holiday. So I'm sorry, I don't know why I did that in an accent, but they're on a holiday, so not a lot of flows expected. There is expiry week, and next week, while expiry is on Thursday, a lot of positions will be rolled over today, tomorrow, day after, whenever the markets trade, because they would be going on holiday, and mutual funds will prop up their NAV. So those are things we'll have to watch out for. But if you're a compulsive trader, those are the levels. Max open interest in calls 11,000, series high 10,985, 200-day moving average lower at 10,765, but you can see some support coming in around the 10,800 to 10,850 mark.
Okay, so the holiday mood setting in and the accent setting in as well. But Mangalam, in terms of the stocks, what are you watching out for? Well,
we start with Bharti Airtel and Infratel, because yesterday Bharti Airtel formed a special committee of directors to evaluate fundraising options, in which one of the big takeaways was that they are going to consider monetizing 32% of their stake in Bharti Infratel, which amounts to about 15,000 odd crores. And CFO Nilanjan Roy announced his resignation with effect from February 28, 2019. So if he's resigned WEF Feb 28, where does he join? Well, he joins Infosys. That is my other stock on the radar. They've appointed Bharti's Nilanjan Roy as the CFO from March 1, 2019. I was talking about NAV propping during the market chat. Just keep an eye out on Yes Bank, because it's down 41% this year. This week itself, it is up 4%. That could perhaps be on account of some of the shorts who are making profit, unwinding their positions, or maybe institutions who hold 62% stake in the company may be looking at propping up their NAVs. Then a couple of small stocks, they come on our radar. Indian Hume Pipes, they've backed an order worth close to 503 crores. Accenture, for the IT space, this is important because they've given their revenue growth guidance 6 to 8% in local currency, with margins being anywhere between 14.5 to 14.7%. Important stock to watch out for would be CARE, because it's got a notice on credit rating adjudication for IL&FS and its arm. So, one of the first few times that the rating agencies have been pulled up for the IL&FS crisis. And finally, some formality, PFC, REC, we keep talking about that, and now PFC board has approved buying the government's stake in REC.
Okay, Mangalam, so thank you so much for that. A lot of stocks to watch out and trade today, right from Infosys to Bharti Airtel, Infratel. We will keep an eye out on all of them and discuss more on the subject. But as we take a short break on this show, here is some opinion from N. Jaykumar of Prime Securities on where is the market headed and what are the triggers going forward.
The testing of the 10,200 range, which we on this channel have been talking about as a reasonably secure bottom. I think that's held and has indicated that there may be an index rebalancing, if you will, from a market point of view. I think the fall in oil could be, we could be only in the middle of this fall. Wouldn't surprise me at all to see first quarter next year Brent trading distinctly below 50 in the 42, 48 range and correspondingly for the WTI. So in the face of that, I think you could be talking about substantial rupee strength, and we could go back to test, to my mind, 67, 68 levels on the dollar rupee. And if you take that as the backdrop, then all that you're left with in terms of headwinds is what will happen in the elections, come April, May, June. So I think the market today will probably continue to trade in a range of 10,200 at the low to about 11,200, 11,300 max.